This is the Morning Swim Show for Friday, July 16th, 2010. I'm Peter Bush. On the show today, we'll have an interview with four-time U.S. Olympian Amanda Beard. Our own Garrett McCaffrey caught up with her at the Arizona State meet in Phoenix. It was Beard's second meet since Beijing, and since she became a mom, they talked about training and the comeback.
So Amanda, you're at your second meet back since Beijing, right?
Yes, my second meet.
Let's talk about where you're at right now with training. How long have you been back in the pool? And I mean, what's going on with your race shape, I guess?
Well, I got back in the pool about 5 weeks after I had my baby. So kind of the end of October. But it was very kind of 2 practices a week, something like that. So after Christmas, I started to really kind of slowly get back into shape. And I feel like right now I'm in pretty good shape. Obviously not at my best, but I didn't really expect to be at my best yet, and hopefully just kind of keep building off that, go to nationals, try to get some decent times, and then get back right into it.
You've trained with a bunch of different coaches, probably taken a bunch of different approaches to getting in shape and figuring out what is in shape. What's your approach this time?
Well, since I've had my son, I don't really have a lot of spare time, and I try to not leave him very often. So when I do leave Blaze and leave the house, I just try to get really quality, high intense workouts in. So, you know, I'm working out about 3 hours a day right now, but it's all very intense and hard. It's some of the hardest workouts I've ever done, and so I feel like that's kind of been my best strategy so far.
So more focus on intensity as opposed to volume and back and forth swimming?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't lifted weights since 2004, so I'm back in the weight room, and that's been a lot of fun. So I'm really getting a lot stronger. My arms are getting big and buff. But, you know, it's been fun. Definitely a lot more intense.
Is Rourke coming up with these workouts, or is this something that you guys are working together on, or who's coming up with the workouts?
Rourke is in charge of all of my in the pool workouts, and then I have a personal trainer that I train with at SWAT Fitness to do all of my dry land stuff. So between the two of them, they like to kick my butt a lot.
Before 2004 trials, you were fired up because Liesl Jones had broke your world record. Before 2008 trials, you didn't seem to really care. I mean, it was just kind of like, I'm here, I'm having fun, this is a good time, and oops, I made the Olympic team again. What's your attitude right now as you're in 2010, you know, 2 years away from London, just kind of getting back into shape? What's your attitude like?
My attitude right now definitely is just to have fun with it. I don't have to swim. There's no one forcing me to swim. I've accomplished a lot of stuff in the pool, so I feel like I'm doing it simply because I enjoy it. No one's forcing me to get into the pool and try. I have to make that Olympic team, or I have to do this or that. So it's a lot more relaxed. I go to practice because it's fun and I enjoy it, and it's been a good way to get back in shape after having my son. So really, I'm trying to take the most laid-back approach to it and take in whatever comes to me. Just have fun with it.
Are you going to go to nationals this summer?
I am going to go to nationals, and so that'll be interesting. It'll be like my first big meet. I get to put a racing suit on and race all the fast ladies. So, and it's in my hometown, so some of my friends get to come out and finally see me swim.
Right now you're training at Tucson Ford, and there's not really a breaststroker that can keep up with you in practice, I'm assuming. I know I talked to Barrett Meesfield, who said you guys are kind of have a rivalry where you got to be within 15 seconds of his butterfly time, right?
We got to get creative. So I have someone like Barrett to race against in practice, and yeah, we set goals for ourselves, but they're kind of different. I'm not racing him necessarily head-to-head.
Relative goals.
Relative goals, yeah. So I'll get a 15-second head start for 100 breaststroke, and he's coming after me on 100 fly. So we have a bet going. I have to beat him by 15 seconds, or he has to beat me by 15 seconds in 100 fly, 100 breast. And I get a Starbucks, and he gets a breakfast burrito.
Nice.
So,
is it a challenge, because you've been in training groups with girls like Rebecca Sony and Jessica Hardy and Staciana Stitz, and you've trained with great breaststrokers head to head, and now you're kind of making your own relative challenges and figuring it out more or less on your own.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge for you, or do you enjoy it?
You know, it's always been a fun process, whether I'm swimming with a Rebecca Sony in the pool and pushing myself that way, or I'm swimming with all the high schoolers at Tucson Ford. The thing is, like, you have to learn how to challenge yourself, and have to push myself in my own ways. I can't always rely on the person next to me in the lane to make me a better swimmer or train harder. And I can just as easily race, I race all the boys when we do freestyle sets and things like that, and a lot of the backstrokers are a good person for me to race for my breaststroke. So it works perfect. I mean, it's been a great place for me to train.
Let's talk a little business side of the sport. Are any of your sponsors still backing you, or are you kind of on your own right now?
I do have a couple sponsors, and right now I'm just finishing up a couple contracts. So
congratulations.
But right now it's really difficult for swimmers because which sucks. It was getting so nice where swimmers could actually make a living off of being a swimmer, and so you're seeing people in the sport a lot longer and performing better. And now we've kind of taken a hit because of the economy and stuff, and it's we're kind of starting over and scratching our way back up to the top. So I think anybody who's lucky enough to get any sort of financial backing in swimming is doing pretty well.
And as someone who's done pretty well financially off their swimming success, do you have any thoughts as to how swimmers and how the whole swimming community should approach making money? I mean, we lived and died by the swimsuit contract for a few years, and it seems like now maybe some smaller sponsors, especially if the athlete partnership agreement, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with that, comes through, where you can put advertising on your suit.
Yeah.
If that comes through, do you think that opens it up for maybe some multiple number of smaller sponsors, or are we still going for Speedo and Tier and Arena to come and sign us, and that's how we're going to live and die?
The way that I think about the best way to approach swimming, and I kind of have a different way of looking at it, but I feel like it should be like the NASCAR, like load yourselves up with sponsorships.
Why not?
Like, yeah, I mean, why not? It's beneficial to the sport, to the swimmer. You're going to have fans sticking around longer because you're going to have people sticking around, multiple Olympics, not just one good meet and then they're gone because they can't afford to swim. So I feel like clutter yourself. I mean, if you can make $1,000 off of each little sponsor on your swimsuit, that's pretty good. So that's the way I wish that it would be, but it's going to be difficult to make it that way.
Back to the pool real quickly as we finish up. What are some of your goals this summer? Let's not go long term and look to 2012. What are some of the goals this summer?
I have some goal times for me for the summer nationals. They're nothing like insane. They're just a good stepping stone for me. And really, the way that I talked about it with with Rourke and Frank Bush was, I'm not going to go to nationals unless I really think I can be top 8 in the breaststroke event. So that's where I kind of hope I am right now, and so that's kind of my expectations on myself.
What do you think top 8 will take? 227?
I have no idea. I'm so oblivious to the sport. I'd hope about 228, 227. I'd love to be right around there.
Yeah. Have you say you're oblivious to sport. Have you been paying attention to any of the other breaststrokers out there? Like Rebecca Stoney's had a pretty darn impressive season this year.
Rebecca Stoney's always impressive.
221s multiple times.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. But I mean, the way that I approach it, I try not to get too involved in checking everyone's stats and times and things like that, because it just plays too much of a mental game with me. And I want to go into a swim meet, step up behind the blocks, and race everyone just like they're all Rebecca Stoney's. Whatever meet I'm going to, just enjoy it.
So thank you so much for your time, Amanda. Best luck this summer and leading into 2012.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Garrett, and thanks, Amanda. And that's it for today's show. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.